Hello, this is Zach Swallen with the State Water Resources Control Board in the Division of Water Rights. Today I'm here to present to you a tutorial on how to fill out the 2024 Shasta Curtailment Certification online response form. Some disclaimers before I get started. This video does not supersede the order or the regulation, and it's not a replacement for reading the regulation yourself or reading the curtailment order that you may have received. The purpose of this video is to provide some technical assistance and show you how to fill out the online certification with form. With that said, let's begin. The first thing you need to do is to go to the website where you may fill out the form. That website is in the letter you received, or you could copy down from my screen up above. We begin by clicking the button that says Log in here at the bottom left of your screen. Once you click on that, it asks us to fill in our login and password, also known as a reporting identifier. This is the information that you should have received on the curtailment order letter and can be found again. For myself, I will put in an example water right. Type in your password. Once you enter the information, we'll click Login. This takes us to the water user database, which will provide a list of the forms that are now available to us on our portal. This includes the Scott and Shasta curtailment certifications forms, as well as forms that you would fill out to petition for additional water and continue diversions for minimum livestock, human health and safety needs greater than 55 gallons per day per person, or non-consumptive uses. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to go to the 2024 Scott Parcel Curtailment Certification Form. Now there are two buttons here. The survey button will allow you to actually fill in information in the form, or the summary button will allow you to see the answers provided in the form once you've done so, but will not actually allow you to be able to provide answers in that form. So for us wanting to fill out the form, we will want to click on the survey button. Once we click on that, it will take us into the introduction screen. The introduction screen is the first page of the form and has some useful information. For brevity's sake, I'm going to go ahead and skip reading all this out, but I highly encourage you all to read this information as you start to fill out the form yourself. For the certification, compliance, and curtailment and reporting order, right off the bat, there is three options that allow you to skip filling out the rest of the form. The first option is that if there is no water used on the lands associated with the parcels listed in Attachment A, you do not need to provide any additional information in this form. All you have to do is check the box and move to the final page for submission. This is also true if you have already certified compliance for all the diversions and water used on the parcels listed in Attachment A. You do not need to re-input this information, and you just have to check the box and move to the final page for submission. The last one is related to groundwater pumpers that divert less than 2 acre-feet per year. This is typically seen as domestic uses that are not diverting more than 2 acre-feet. If you receive this order and you have a domestic well that is not pumping more than 2 acre-feet, all you need to do is check this box and move to the final form to submit. If you do not fall under any of these, we will then click Next and follow the form. The next page takes us to the contact information. So I'll go ahead and provide my first name, last, my best email, which in this case, I will go ahead and use the Scott Shasta drought inbox. Once I've entered the information and what's best to contact me, I will then click Next. Next, we get what type of water right and use information. And for this, we want to select all that apply. So the first option is I have a groundwater well, or I use groundwater on the parcels listed in Attachment A. If this is true, you'll want to go ahead and click that. If you check the option above, we also want to have to fill out the curtailment certification on the following page. If you have a surface diversion on or use surface water on the properties listed in attachment A, we will also want to go ahead and select that box and make sure we also fill out information regarding surface water diversion and use section on the subsequent page. And we would like also to fill out the curtailment certification on the following page. If there are no surface water or groundwater diversions and no water use on the parcels listed in attachment A, if you click this, all you need to do is proceed to the end of the final page of the form and just submit. So we will go ahead and say that we have a groundwater well on our property. Next will be the curtailment certification. This is the certification to show that you've received and acknowledged the curtailment order and will follow the conditions in the order. So right off the bat is we could certify that surface water and groundwater diversions or the associated water use of the parcel identified in attachment A has ceased. That means you've received the order and have turned off the associated water rights, or maybe the water rights or diversions were already turned off and not being used. You also have the option to select that you are going to continue to divert surface water and or groundwater as provided by the exemptions sections in 875.1 for non-consumptive use, 875.2 for minimum health and safety needs, which allows you to get up to 55 gallons per day per person, or 875.3, which is the minimum diversions for livestock watering. This could all be found within the emergency regulation, and if you need additional water, you need to submit a petition. As far as this order, it also was sent out to folks that have a local cooperative solution. If you already have a local cooperative solution that is pending on the webpage, you would want to select this box here, showing that you have a local cooperative solution that covers the water rights and that you're going to continue operating under the conditions agreed upon in my LCS and work with the State Water Board for the remainder of the irrigation season. And the last one is that I certify that any continued use of surface water or groundwater on the parcels listed in attachment A is under other water rights not subject to this curtailment. This could be previously stored water or water imported from another basin, specifically identifying those other water rights, including the basin of right and quantity of water we would like to have below. If you check the section option up above, I am continuing to divert or use water provided by 875, we want to go ahead and finish this section down here. So if you check the box saying that you're using this, we want to do the following. Use of diversion of surface water or groundwater continues only for non-consumptive uses for which a certification for continued diversion has been submitted. If you have a non-consumptive use where this water is put back into the stream, this is the box you would like to check. Now, if you're using the diversion or surface water or groundwater specifically for human health and safety needs, that it could be domestic, that could be using it at your property for dishes, cleaning, a small garden out front, this is the box you would like to check. And as I said, this approves you for up to 55 gallons per day per person. The next one is use of diversion or surface water or groundwater continues only to the extent necessary to provide diversions for livestock watering. And this is where the certification or petition has been submitted. For most of these livestock watering, you will want to also fill out the petition form that then also has the breakdown of how the number should be calculated for the individual heads of cattle or other livestock on the property. This should also be found at the beginning when we first opened up the portal form and should be under the Scott portal petition. So if there's any alternative sources of water being used on the parcel, we would like to have that information described here. If you check the fourth option up above, continued use is under another water right, please specify what other water right is being used, the basis of the right, and the quantity that is currently being diverted. Once this information has all been entered, we would like to hit next. This section is information regarding surface water diversions and use. Please select the surface water rights under which you divert. If you do not divert or use a surface water, you can skip this page. So I think it was on the first or second page, we had to select if we were using groundwater and or surface water. So if you could also select the surface water, we would need to fill out this section as well. So if it's an adjudicated water right in the Scott River adjudication, please describe the water right in the box below, including the schedule of the water right and paragraph of the adjudication, or the original owner's name and point of diversion if known. If you do not have this information, please provide what you have or a general description of the water right. If an adjudication for the French Creek, please describe the water right in the box below, including the table or group of the water rights, the paragraphs or the adjudication, and or the original owner's name and point of diversion if known. If you have an adjudicated water right in Shackelford, please also fill out the same information down below. For permitted or licensed water rights or registrations for livestock, stock ponds, small domestic use, or small irrigation use, please provide the application, permit, license, or registration certificate in the box below. And as I mentioned, for each one of these that apply, you would want to select that box. If you have a riparian right to a spring that starts on the property, please put the parcel number where the spring and box is located. And if there's another option that we did not have, please check this box and explain below. Once you have selected and entered the required information for your surface water diversion, you may hit next. This section allows you to add any attachments that you may like to include, whether this be information regarding a water right or anything else that can be helpful as far as explaining what the current process you have or options you have on your property. If you would like to attach a file, all you do is click the choose file and go into your computer and select what file you'd like to do. With anything you upload, please make sure you attach a brief description so we know what should be included. For here, I'm just going to say no attachment because I don't have anything to attach at this time. This is the last page for the submission. So this is where we go and sign that all the information we entered is correct to the best of our knowledge. It also allows us to put what the relationship is to the legal landowner. For this example, this would be myself. But if you were a family member filling it out or a neighbor or a friend, you could also put that as well. This form is allowed to be filled out by other individuals who may help you get this information entered correctly. Once completed, we will want to check the box certifying that all the information entered into this form is true and correct to the best of my knowledge. At this time, if there's any other information you want to go back and update, you're able to click previous and go back to the previous selections, which still should be have all the information you already put. Once all the information is correct to the best of your knowledge and you have this filled out, you'll want to hit finish and submit. After that, it will show you an overview of what you've selected and what would be submitted to the State Water Board. If you would like to keep a copy for yourself, hit show as PDF. Once we are done, we would want to hit return to dashboard to go back to the beginning. That concludes this tutorial for the Scott Shasta Curtailment Certification Form. Again, if you have any questions related to filling out this form or any other forms regarding the regulation, we encourage you to contact us at our email address, the Scott Shasta Drought at waterboards.ca.gov, or the phone number specifically for the drought effort. Thank you very much and good luck on completing your form.